Good morning, council.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Judge.
How are y'all doing today?
Oh, likely better than I deserve.
Is this Williams versus Pride Contractors and Services at
Yes.
all?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, Judge.
Then, Ms. Rouse, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's call DC 18-14678, James Williams et al. Versus Pride Contractors and Services et al. Before I take introductions, I have some things I have to cover. We are obviously conducting this proceeding remotely. However, it is a convening of court and is still subject to the open courts provisions of the Texas Constitution. Therefore, the public is invited to view this proceeding. Because of the remote nature of this proceeding, we are therefore broadcasting the proceeding on the court's YouTube channel. If you have an interest, the Office of Court Administration maintains an open list that constantly refreshes of all courts that happen to be operating remotely or broadcasting remotely at any given moment. That creates certain issues, one of which is these proceedings cannot be recorded without an order of the court permitting that recording. Lest there be any doubt, you are prohibited from saving the recording of this proceeding or otherwise recording it off the live YouTube stream. All participants and all members of the public are so prohibited. There is one record and one record only that comes out of this proceeding, and that is the record maintained by the official court reporter of the 95th District Court, Ms. Rouse. Any questions about that?
No, sir.
Courtroom doors also happen to be open, but there are no members of the public present. The only non-participant present besides me, I'm on the bench, is the court bailiff who happens to be in the room. This is a motion for continuance, is it not?
It is, yes, sir.
Is that the only thing we have today?
That's the only thing in this matter that I'm aware of.
Is there any opposition to the motion for continuance?
Your Honor, it was partially opposed. I initially agreed to about a week.
I apologize before I do that. But before we talk about it, we probably ought to have introductions. Mr. Richardson, you were speaking, so why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Jason Richardson. I'm counsel for plaintiff.
And Your Honor, my name is Damian Abrego. I represent Castle Credit, the last remaining defendant.
And I see Mr. Bailey present.
Yes, sir.
Would care to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Ramondre Bailey, and looking
All right. Is
forward
Mr.
to
Richardson
getting
your
this behind
counsel?
us.
I'm not sure what you said.
No.
Are you pro se?
Can you guys hear me? Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, Mr. Richardson, you were saying this was partially opposed.
Yes, Your Honor. When we were conferring, most of what I've gathered from counsel's concern was an impending hurricane and potentially reviewing the file. But when I reviewed the motion, it appeared that the file needed some more workup. And the case has been on docket for at least 2 years. And up until about a week ago, I thought everyone was ready. So I think the motion is, outside of the concern with the hurricane, it's quite a surprise. Seeing this though, we got no advance notice, no communication whatsoever regarding a need for continuance or just general non-readiness.
All right. All right. So Mr. Richardson, you're opposing the motion for continuance.
Only to the extent that it goes beyond a week or two, but I'm willing to defer to the court. I'm not going to be as
Okay.
staunch about it.
Mr. Abreu?
Yes, Your Honor. I guess first off, I should get the hurricane out of the way. It was a complete non-event here in Houston. Thank God, everybody's fine. So let's push that aside. I can't speak to the status of this case prior to perhaps a week and a half ago. I've been employed here with this law firm since July 29th, I believe I showed up. Started reviewing my new caseload. It's about 100 cases, about 95 cases. And I found this one, like I said, about a week and a half ago, reached out to Mr. Richardson and we talked. It wasn't until Monday, I guess Tuesday of this week, that I asked him to consider a continuance. The purpose of my request is twofold. Number one, I'm familiar with the case. It's not a particularly complex matter, but I'd like some time to put a trial strategy together and maybe corral a witness or two and assure their attendance. Number two, I'd like 30 days to get a business records affidavit on file, simply so that we can get the documents that underlie this dispute in front of you, Your Honor. And that's why I'm asking for 30 days. I will not request another continuance.
Can you explain to the court why a business records hasn't been filed in the 2 years since this case was filed?
I cannot, Your Honor. I don't even know. I've never met the man I replaced. I don't know what his work habits were. I can't answer that.
Fair enough. Mr. Bailey, do you have an opinion?
No, I don't. About my case?
About resetting this case?
Oh no, that's not my case. My case is the
Oh. Okay. I wondered why. Oh, you're the 9:30 hearing. Okay.
okay because they sent a Zoom for 9 o'clock. So
I'm aware because that's our docket setting. Ms. Rouse, why don't you put Mr. Bailey in the waiting room?
Okay, yeah, give me 1 second.
You're not going away. You're just being put in the waiting room. Okay. I apologize, counsel. I should have figured that one out. He's actually got a lawyer, but but his lawyer's asked to withdraw inside a week before a trial setting. So, all right. Is there something we can do to? Wait, is there an agreement we can reach that can put that can eliminate Mr. Abreu's need for 30 days? Because you really only need 14, but then you got to have a few days. I understand. Is there anything we can do, shorten the time, or agree on exhibits that can shorten that need? I'll be blunt. The court is wide open in many respects because we're not doing any juries. And so anytime that we have set aside for juries, we can do non-jury. I was just going over my trial docket for the week of September 8th after Labor Day. And it's gone from 25 cases on the docket to probably one. I mean, that's just the way, the nature of what's happening right now.
Your Honor, can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
On these bench trials, are they conducted in a Zoom meeting like we're doing now, or are these in person?
We are set up to do all proceedings other than jury trials by Zoom,
Okay.
with exchange of exhibits, everything else. Now, would you be invited if I can't compel you all to be in the courtroom right now, is my understanding of the emergency orders. I also can't conduct a proceeding that cannot be conducted in a socially distant, safe manner. But if we're talking 2 lawyers and a witness and exhibits exchanged virtually so that we're not passing paper back and forth, that can be done safely if both parties and the witness or witnesses are willing to conduct that in that socially distant, safe manner. Am I vague enough on that?
Perfectly, Your Honor.
Well, yeah.
I'd love that. I actually had 2 lawyers in the courtroom yesterday arguing a case, or day before yesterday arguing a case, and it was really pleasant. It was really pleasant.
Like the good old days,
Yes.
or 6 months ago.
I mean, I'm not opposed to an appearance. I actually prefer it. Any setting within 30 days, I'm most likely would agree to. And I particularly am fond of the one after Labor Day, because that seems to give us enough time to get things together and coordinate and have the case ready for the court.
Mr. Braille, what is your what's your thought process on that? Could you get your stuff ready, and the 2 of you look at I've been on the bench for 4 weeks yesterday, since my appointment by Governor Abbott. I put together a set of policies and procedures for this court. They're online. Paragraph 2 kind of outlines my view of the relationship between the court and counsel to each other. We ought to work this stuff out. So if y'all can work out something, I can find you a spot the week of September 8th to try the case. I'm not going to put a lawyer in a professional bind, but I'm also not going to give away a party's substantive rights. But records on filing and exhibits tend to be that can be worked out.
Yes, sir. And I will say that if the hearing is conducted in this manner by Zoom, that makes it a whole bunch easier for me to deal with the evidence issue.
Because you're in Houston, right?
I'm in Houston and my client is in Chicago, which is the bigger problem.
All right, then we'll do it by Zoom. As much as I might like you in here, we'll do it by Zoom. Why don't we do it this way?
Your Honor, I let me just throw this out there if I may. I can be ready later in the week that begins with the 7th. I have an appellate brief due on the 7th, which is going to take some time. But apart from that, I can be ready that week.
Okay, looking at my docket, generally, Thursdays are the dreaded discovery docket day. I am just how long is this going to take to try? Best guess.
Couple hours.
Half day at best. Maybe 2 hours.
I agree.
All right, here's what let's. If I call you for 9:30 on Thursday, September 10, we may have to take a break in the middle of it for me to handle a summary judgment or maybe 2 summary judgments, but we can probably get it done that morning. If that works for both of your calendars.
I'm clear, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it works for my calendar. I have to
Right.
confirm with the clients. I have elderly, very technologically challenged clients. So they were of the opinion that they were appearing. So I got to work out the Zoom details with them.
Okay. We haven't done it, but it's entirely possible we can do this in some sort of hybrid manner. And it's entirely possible we can do this in some sort of hybrid manner because Ms. Rouse isn't going to be in the courtroom anyways either. So we'd have to set up something separate if you were to be in the courtroom. I don't want to, if one party thinks that gives one party an advantage, I'm not in favor of that, but I actually think it can be done.
Your Honor,
I actually think it can be done. The problem is the technical side of having two computers operating in the same environment and not having feedback is really the big problem. But I'm sure we can figure that one out somehow or another.
and Your Honor, I have no problem at all appearing in person. If that helps the plaintiffs out, put on their case, that's great. As long as I can pull my witness in by Zoom, I'm happy.
Okay.
Excuse me just a moment.
All right.
Couple minutes, tell them 5-10 minutes. Thank you. Nope, no worries. My apologies, Your Honor. I've got another court calling, wondering where I am.
Okay, very good. Then let's denying the continuance motion, calling the case for September the 10th at 9:30, and we'll work out the details of who's going to be here and who's going to be remote and how we're going to play that out between now and the 10th. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, may we be excused?
You may be excused. Thank you for your appearance today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for hearing us.
You bet. All right. Whenever you're ready, we can let the next group in.
All right, let me just scroll down.
Actually, it looks like it's just Mr. Bailey.
Yeah, I need to move his name. Hold on 1 second. Okay, you may go ahead and click them in.
Yes. Mr. Bailey, welcome back to the 95th District Court.
Thank you, sir.
You're actually Do you know what case you're here on?
Yes, I believe it's DC 1601336 something like that.
Oh, that's at 11, Nation Star Mortgage versus Bobby Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. That's at 11 o'clock. I know you received the link. That's just when, in essence, when court is open.
Okay.
I can, you know what? I want to see if Nation Star appears, or if anyone else appears at that time. And I don't want to engage in anything that could be construed as what's called an ex parte conversation, a conversation with you outside the presence of everybody else. Since the hearing is noticed for 11 o'clock, let's wait until then. I hate to do that. I don't think I'm going to be able to sign your order today. And I have some things I think, just looking at the papers, I think I'm going to have to get you to jump through some hoops. And I hate to do that, but I think I'm going to have to, because I'm going to need evidence of who all the heirs are before I can release those funds.
Okay.
But before we talk about that further, let's wait till 11. So as far as I'm concerned, you can log off and then log back on at 11 o'clock, or you can be stuck in the waiting room until 11 o'clock.
Okay. I can just log back off and then
All
log
right.
back on.
That's what I would do if I were you. So
Okay.
very good. All right. We will see you at 11.
Okay.
All right.
Also, would I need to like present my birth certificate to show that I am an heir, or?
We got to do more than that. And that's why let's talk about that stuff at 11. So I'm not potentially prejudicing someone.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Very
Not
good.
a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So, Ms. Rouse, I guess we are not having oh, well, maybe we are having the 10. I can't tell if we're having this 10 o'clock hearing or not.
Okay.
Um,
I have to look. Is that the 2106? No.
no, it's 11/3/25.
Okay.
This is the one where the lawyer's withdrawn, but he hasn't withdrawn. We've got his client filing things. The other side says I didn't get notice, so don't have the hearing. That's the one I sent the email about being confused on last night.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll be back at 10. Court is in recess until 10. See if
See if anybody shows.
anybody shows.
Okay.
All right.
See you.
Very
All right.
good. Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Briggs, I don't know if you can hear me, but it shows you have no audio. Oh, there you go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Judge should be on in just a few minutes. Good morning.
Okay. We were trying to get an order sent to you because the other party was in agreement for a motion to continue. And so I sent the order to him, but he's supposed to be signing it.
Okay. Yeah, I think there was some confusion with what was going on, so y'all can clear that up in a few minutes.
Okay.
I'm just the court reporter, by the way.
Okay. All right. I know you guys are pretty busy these days, huh?
Sir,
Sorry for being late yesterday.
no problem.
Okay.
He's there. It's just muted. No, it usually comes on right at the time.
Member at church, there's a cop that I always talk to coming out or in the church, won't school it. There he is. Yeah, member. Yeah. He has a unique face. I don't know. Well, see.
Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Ms. Rouse, are you ready?
I'm ready, Judge.
Court is calling DC 1911325 Serenity Jen Hernandez versus Carrie Jo Briggs. I observe that Mr. Briggs is present. I do not observe that anyone else is present. And I'm staring at an email from counsel for the opposing party saying this proceeding was never noticed for hearing. Formally, let's call it Mr. Briggs, is anyone in with you?
No, just me.
All right. I have to advise you that this proceeding, although being conducted by remote means, is a convening of court, the same as if you were in the courtroom with me and any other participants were. Because of the open courts provisions of the Texas Constitution, this proceeding must be made open to the public. Our means of doing that is by broadcasting this proceeding on the court's YouTube channel, which is publicly available by going to the Texas Office of Court Administration, where you can find the links to all courts that have a YouTube channel that they're broadcasting in order to make their proceedings open to the public. I must advise you that this copying or recording of this proceeding is expressly prohibited unless there's been an order of the court authorizing such copying or recording. There has been no such order here. So whether you're a member of the public or a participant such as yourself in the proceeding, you cannot record this proceeding. There's one record that comes out of this proceeding, and that is maintained by the official court reporter of this court, Ms. Rouse, who is present and is reporting this proceeding like she normally does if she were sitting in the courtroom.
I understand.
You have any questions about that?
No, sir.
All right. Now, I received a bunch of things, the court received a bunch of things that you have filed. I've also received a notice from the opposing party that they did not receive notice of this hearing. And I also happen to know that you are represented by an attorney who has filed a motion to withdraw, but that motion to withdraw runs counter to the local rules of the Civil District Courts of Dallas County, in that it was filed inside 30 days of a trial setting. Let's take those one at a time. First of all, do you have evidence that you provided notice of this hearing to Mr. Patel, the opposing party's lawyer?
We did an e-file that where he was emailed. As far as our continuance, I can't remember whether, I think when we sent information to the court reporter, we included his email address. So I thought that was our way of letting him know that we had the hearing. I also sent him an email this morning with an order, because from what I understand, that he was agreeable to the continuance, the attorney.
What do you have indicating he is agreeable to the continuance?
Okay, I think he had been in contact with my former attorney, and the attorney sent me an email saying that he was in agreement to it, and so
it's your lawyer saying that he said he was. That's not something this court can rely on.
Right, understand. So we e-filed the continuance documents to him. I made sure that he received it by email when I completed the continuance documents.
I understand that. I do.
Okay.
I also know that that's not sufficient to create a hearing of.
Okay. Okay.
And then there's the issue of you have a lawyer.
Now that correspondence between the lawyer, that was between those two, not necessarily.
That's not what I'm getting at. You've got a lawyer who's supposed to be here representing you, not you yourself.
Right.
Now, whether he can withdraw, do you want him to withdraw?
Yes, because he's in another state, and that's why I'm filing. One of the reasons I'm filing for the continuance, because I do need to get another lawyer. And there were some things that was going on that he was ill the last 2 months of last year, and I think the first 2 or 3 months of this year, and so then we had some deaths where we had about 3 deaths. I don't know if it was coronavirus related or not, but that put us in an awkward position where we've been dealing with that as opposed to.
Well, the whole world's been dealing with coronavirus. All right.
But it impacted my attorney relationship, I think, where he was ill.
Bigger thing is he now a U.S. government employee?
Yes.
Okay, here's what I'm. When did Mr. Buckner become an employee of the U.S. Coast Guard?
Let's see. I'm not sure, but I think he moved to Virginia in maybe October of last year. I'm not sure, somewhere in there.
Do you continue to have communication with Mr. Buckner?
I've had communication with him within this week, when he sent his. We had no contact until he sent his notice saying that he was resigning from the case, and then we've had some communications. A couple of times this morning we had communication, and last night when he had mentioned that he had received a call or email from Mr. Patel, and that Mr. Patel was agreeable to the continuance. And he advised that Mr. Patel wanted him to continue the case, so.
Okay, I'm going to place a phone call. I'm probably going to be off screen here for a moment. Mr. Patel, this is Judge Mike Lee, 95th District Court. I'm trying to figure out what to do on this Briggs matter. We are in court actually as we speak. It is 19-11-325 Serenity Shen Hernandez versus Carrie Jo Briggs. Please give the court a call. We've got a situation where a lawyer is attempting to withdraw, but he's attempting to withdraw within 30 days before the trial setting. But I also happen to be aware that he is apparently now a U.S. government employee and therefore can't represent Mr. Briggs. And I want to figure out a way to handle this in a way that doesn't prejudice any party's proceeding. The easiest thing for me to do, I think, is to call the case to trial on Monday at 9 o'clock, order everyone to be there, and then continue the case. But that seems a pretty silly proceeding, given the fact that although you weren't given official notice of today, you actually did know about today's proceeding, because I can tell from the email. Yeah, please give the court a call, and I'll continue on with Mr. Briggs here, but not in an ex parte manner. Thanks. Bye-bye. Ms. Rouse, I assume you,
I reported that.
yeah, I don't know if the answering machine came across that. I called Mr. Patel's office number based on his email from yesterday, advising that he didn't have notice of today's proceeding. Mr. Briggs, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to call this case for 9 o'clock Monday, unless there is further communication from the court. I'm going to ask you advise Mr. Buckner of the setting at 9 o'clock on Monday. He should have withdrawn, is what it amounts to. But I'm also not going to do this in a way that prejudices your rights. He can't represent you as a U.S. government employee, is my guess. And so I'm not going to, but I also am going to do this at a time that's been noticed to the party. So I'm going to speak with Mr. Patel, going to advise him to be available at 9 o'clock. And we're going to figure out what to do. But tell Mr. Buckner he needs to be on the call at 9 o'clock Central Time on Monday, unless there's further communication from us about that setting. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right, very good. So As of now, the motion for continuance is just not, it's not even continued or denied. I mean, it's not accepted or denied. It's just not even being heard at this moment officially. Understood?
Okay. Yes, I do.
All right, very good.
Be prepared for 9 o'clock Monday.
Show up at 9 o'clock on Monday and you'll get a Zoom link for that setting.
Okay.
All right?
Thank
Very
you, sir.
good. All right,
Thank
thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Dina, we'll talk about that after this next one.
Okay.
Trying to hang up.
Mr. Briggs, you are excused. Just,
Okay, I'm trying to.
okay, fair enough.
I'll do it. Our next one's 10:45, right, Judge?
Well, somebody is here. I just admitted somebody. Mr. Graham, may I ask what proceeding you're here on?
Maybe he just opened it and then went to do something. If he's here for the next one. He didn't have any sound, it shows. He just has video, so that's not any good.
Let me see if he's the. That is not who. Mr. Graham, may I ask what proceeding you're here on?
Doesn't look like he has a microphone, Judge. Oh, maybe it's connected now. Huh. We can't hear you, sir. Keep saying it's trying to connect to audio, but it's not. Oh, there it is. But he's muted. Let me unmute him. Here we go.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
What are you here on, Mr. Graham?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
What proceeding are you here for?
I'm here for the one for myself, for the with JG Wentworth.
Oh, okay. That's at 10:45. Very good. We're going to put you back in the waiting room. Court is in recess until 10:45.
Okay, sounds
right.
good. I'll be back.
Thank you. Okay. See you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's not yet 10:45, but if this is everyone who's going to be here on the J.G. Wentworth Originations LLC transfer of the structured annuity benefits matter, then I'm ready to proceed if you are. Mr. Graham?
I am ready to go. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Fuller, are you here for J.G. Wentworth?
Do not believe so, Your Honor. I believe I'm here for an earlier one. I am here covering for Naval Patel for a 9 o'clock one.
Okay. Mr. Graham, stand by here. We've dealt with that already. I'm calling the case for 9 o'clock. I called Mr. Patel and didn't reach anybody, and I know he believed he didn't have notice of today's proceeding.
Yes, Your Honor.
But I know he knew about it because he sent an email saying I don't have official notice.
Okay.
I called it for 9 o'clock on Monday.
Okay, 9 o'clock on
But
Monday.
almost certainly it is not going to trial at 9 o'clock on Monday.
Okay, I believe, was there a motion to withdraw? I believe
There is a motion to withdraw, and the motion to withdraw, unfortunately, is counter to the local rules because it was filed inside 30 days of a trial setting. But the lawyer also happens to be a U.S. government employee, apparently now, and therefore I can't ask him to represent a private individual.
Yeah, that would be tough.
And I'm not going to stick Mr. Briggs to trial having just allowed his attorney to withdraw. But I didn't feel I could do any of that because Mr. Patel was not present.
Okay.
So formally, for a time that he has noticed, 9 o'clock Monday, we're going to proceed unless you all get together, you, Mr. Buckner, you or Mr. Patel, Mr. Buckner and Mr. Briggs, the three of you combined tell me that you're in agreement on the continuance and I can sign the order allowing him to withdraw. Otherwise, we're just going to do all that Monday morning when we get together.
All right. Thank you, Judge. I'll let Mr. Patel know and we'll get that going.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Ms. Evans, welcome to the 95th District Court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We are a little bit early, but
Okay.
that's fine. I think this is everyone who's going to be here on your matter.
That is correct.
Ms. Rouse, this is DC 20 10655. Let me go through the niceties here. This proceeding is open to the public. I have not received a request to take this off of public participation. So it is currently at this moment being broadcast on the court's YouTube channel. The reality is no individual is permitted to record or copy the recording or the live streaming of this proceeding, which is being done in that manner to comply with the open courts provisions of the state constitution. There's only one record that comes out of this proceeding, and that is the record that is maintained by Ms. Rouse, the official court reporter of the 95th District Court. That's before I ask for any sort of introductions from the parties. Did this annuity come out of another district court in Dallas County?
Let me check. Judge, it was settled in Collin County. But obviously, Mr. Graham is now a resident of Dallas County.
Okay. Well, that's not an easy, for judicial comedy, we're COMITY, not comedy. We are transferring to the originally handling court any such proceedings, but I'm not sure.
Right, if it's within Dallas County, yes, and
Yeah.
we have been making an effort on our part to make sure those cases are routed there correctly as well. You know, our argument is that I think the legislature put in the place of residence in order not to overly burden the annuitant. I mean, you know, here you have an adjacent county, but I mean, we often have cases where the person's very, very far away from where they originally settled in.
Okay, well, then I'm going to proceed. For what it's worth, when you filed that that redacted petition, and I understand why you did it, it gave no information. I couldn't even inquire if it had come out of another court.
I know, we send a judge's copy. Hopefully you received it. If not,
got it last night.
Oh, okay. Well, we sent a hard copy as well, but I know sometimes that does not immediately get routed to you.
All right. But even then, it didn't say what court it had come out of, but that's fine. In this case, I'm just going to ignore that it came out of Collin County. Mr. Graham, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right. Again, this is DC 20-10655. Ask that the parties identify themselves, starting with Ms. Evans.
Julie Evans, I'm here for JG Wentworth.
And Mr. Graham?
Thomas Graham, and I'm here on behalf of myself.
Very good. Ms. Evans, would you like to question the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Graham, I'm going to take your oath. It is being done in an unorthodox manner. It's being done over the internet rather than you sitting in the witness stand here in the courtroom. The Supreme Court of Texas has expressly authorized this sort of taking of oath over the internet because of the COVID-19 emergency. I am here to advise you, however, that this proceeding is the same as if you are in the courtroom. The oath carries the same effect as if you were sitting in the witness stand immediately to my left. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, please raise your hand, right hand. And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, very good. Ms. Evans, it's your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Graham, please state your name for the record.
Thomas Graham.
Are you currently a resident of Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have an annuity that's owned by Prudential Insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
What you'd like to do today is sell a payment of $20,000 that's due to you in December of 2023. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you understand that In exchange, you would receive $12,044.77, which is obviously less than if you waited for this payment to come due on time. Do you understand that?
I do. Yes, ma'am.
You understand that the lump sum my client is offering to pay you is all you will ever receive for the lump sum payment you're selling today?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that even if the judge approves it, you still have a number of days to cancel this transaction? But if you wait longer than that, you cannot come back later and undo it. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Did we advise you that if you had absolutely any questions regarding this transaction, that you should speak to either your own financial advisor or your own attorney, and they could answer any questions you have?
Yes, that is clear.
Okay. And do you understand that I don't represent you here today?
I do understand.
Okay. Could you please explain to the judge why you want to do this?
Yes. So, Your Honor, as times have been tough, as you know, with COVID going on, I had lost my job, I believe July 14th. And so due to that, I have been on the job market hunt daily, which is a very interesting job market right now with the 45 plus million Americans right now all doing the same thing I'm doing daily. It's been an interesting feat. That being said, I don't have an income right now. And so rather than play it out and just wait, I would rather have this safety net of this annuity in my hands currently, because that lump sum is going to be much more valuable to me as an individual right now while I'm unemployed during a pandemic than it will in 2023, December of 2023. So essentially, I plan to use this money to cover all my life expenses for the foreseeable months. We're now coming to September. So I'm hoping that I won't have to use it for that. You know, fingers crossed, I do get some bites here for a new career in the next few days, weeks, or months. And in that case, I would have that money to go directly into savings. I actually have a damaged car that I would fix that as well. But in the poor and unfortunate circumstance that I'm not able to get a new job in the next few weeks or months, this money is going to be used to cover all of my life expenses. So rent, groceries, credit card bills, student loans. Actually, not student loans right now because they're being forgiven, or not forgiven, but they're on hold, which is really fantastic and helping out a lot of people like myself. But yes, this money is going to be very valuable to me right now to really help me get by these few months while I am searching for a new job during these times.
I have nothing else, Your Honor.
Mr. Graham, what is your educational background?
Yes, so I graduated from Plano East Senior High in 2012. After that, I was able to afford Collin County Community College, went and got my associates there for 2 years. After that, moved down to Texas State. I was the first person in my family to graduate college. I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Advertising and a minor in Media Studies in 2017.
All right. So first of all, you're over 8. What's your age?
I am 26. I'll be 27 in December.
All right. And you, do you understand this transaction?
Yes, fully.
You understand you have the right to have counsel represent you in this proceeding?
Yes, understand fully.
And you have chosen not to have counsel represent you in this proceeding?
That is correct.
All right. Do you understand that in essence, you're receiving about 60% of, just slightly more than 60% of what you would receive in December of 2023 by cashing it out now 3 years and a couple months in advance?
I fully understand. Yes, Your Honor.
And in essence, therefore, you're paying J.G. Wentworth better than a 16% or roughly a 16% APR for them paying you early. Do you understand that aspect?
Yes, sir.
And you're willing to do that, considering your circumstances?
Considering my circumstances, I firmly believe it's the only choice I have right now.
And you believe that's a good deal for you?
Not necessarily, no.
Do you have other sums coming from this annuity?
No, Your Honor.
This will end the annuity.
Yes, Your Honor.
So this was, I guess, set up so that this payment would be made at age 30.
I believe so, yes. December of 2023, I would turn 30.
All right. Okay, I don't have anything further. Ms. Evans, do you?
I do not, Your Honor.
Does either of you have anything further you wish to present?
I am
No,
good.
Your Honor.
All right. I have been provided 2 orders, or an order in 2 versions. One is the redacted order and one is the unredacted order. Mr.
Judge,
Graham, go
sorry.
back off. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go back off mute.
There you
Is
go.
what I meant to
there,
say.
there we go. Sorry about that.
Have you received a copy of this final order approving application for approval of transfer of structured annuity benefits?
Yes, I believe I have received that.
And you are satisfied with that me signing that document, correct?
Correct.
And also attached to the application, I noticed when I received the unredacted version, you had signed the transfer papers with J.G. Wentworth. That is your signature, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Evans, I was about to say I'm going to sign both of these, and then I thought you were about to say something.
Well, Judge, for my purposes, the unredacted is the only one that I need to process the payment. However, I know the clerk's office likes to have the redacted to make it publicly visible. So I just wanted to say that it's your call on that.
Well, it's my understanding that the way we're proceeding now is that we are signing both the redacted and the unredacted. The unredacted is put on the publication of the docket. The unredacted version is held by the clerk for the requisite 6 months.
Correct. Yes, my understanding as well.
All right. And how do I get into your hands the unredacted signed version then?
I know both your coordinator and your court reporter have my email address. And if I could get the unredacted, that would be wonderful. I know once it hits the clerk's office, it is sealed and difficult for me to obtain.
All right, very good. Well, I will sign both right now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I thank you.
Judge, earlier, I thought you were about to say in reality, no one's watching when you were talking about the YouTube channel.
Oh, well, I have no idea who's watching.
I'm actually curious to know if there's anyone out there watching these hearings. But
well,
yeah.
I've seen some views of some of my proceedings, but I've always assumed it was the participants going back looking to for the day or two that they're up before they get deleted. I've assumed it's participants looking back to see.
Yeah, Judge, I had an idea that now that we have all these, I mean, I know it's not being, well, is it being recorded or it's not being recorded?
Well, it naturally is being recorded because it's being broadcast live onto YouTube, but then we go back and delete it.
I see. I was going to say, I think it maybe should be a must see for anyone considering law school, so that they can get the true version of what we do rather than the televised movie version.
I actually agree with you on that.
That is funny.
I actually agree with you on that, and most of it's boring. For example, when I'm running my dismissal docket, and for 2 hours I'm here and people randomly come in virtually now.
Yes.
It's most of it's boring. Most of it's very boring.
Exactly. So, okay, thank you,
All right.
Your Honor. I won't take
Very
any
good.
more of your time.
All right. Y'all have a great day. You're excused.
Too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I actually had a comment one time on one of the videos. I think they said like, "This is great." I was thinking, what?
Well, I mean, I happened to notice um, that one of them had like 13 or 18 views. So it's, and I was thinking, yeah, the lawyers are probably trying to figure out what the hell I did. So,
Yeah.
all right, we
Or they're
supposedly
just trying
have,
to see.
what's that? Oh, yeah,
Oh,
we've got,
nothing. I was just saying they were trying to see your style. Oh, there comes somebody. That was that
yeah,
guy.
it's Mr. Bailey. I'm going to go on recess myself here for a minute to take care of the paperwork on this, and I'll be right back in a couple minutes. But you can let Mr. Bailey in.
Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
He should be on any minute. He had to finish some paperwork from the hearing we had right before you.
Oh, okay. Not a problem.
Mr. Bailey, welcome back to the 95th District Court.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Rouse, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Very good. Then I'm going to recall DC 16 01336. It's the formal style of the case is Nation Star Mortgage LLC versus Bobby Johnson. Mr. Bailey, would you identify yourself for the record?
Absolutely. My name is Ramondrick Bailey, and my mother is Deborah Johnson, who both are deceased now, Bobby and Deborah.
Okay.
She's actually a borrower on the account.
You are breaking up real bad.
I am. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
That was like night and day right there. Yes.
Okay. Again, I am. Should I repeat everything I said, or?
Just identify yourself for starters. Just say what your name is.
Ramondrick Bailey.
All right. And you filed this petition yourself?
Yes, I did.
All right. Technically, we are here on a petition for release. You styled it petition for release of excess proceeds. Let me state the case as I understand it.
Okay.
There is in the court's registry, or there was deposited on September 26, 2017, the sum of $20,649.46. And I'm guessing based on your petition, you think that amount has oh, no, that's the amount you're asking for. I'm not sure if it has a value any greater than that today or not. This came out of a foreclosure sale, right?
Yes, sir, it did.
And the Nation Star was a company that interpled these funds because they couldn't determine who the proper heirs and therefore the recipients were, correct?
That's what I was assuming. Yes, that's what I read online. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm going to. Your petition repeatedly talks about Section 34.04 of the Texas Property Tax Code and references a tax sale. You're not claiming this was a tax sale, are you?
No. When I went to the law library, they told me that those were the forms that I needed.
All right. Well, they can't give you legal advice. Have you sought advice from a lawyer?
I have not. I didn't have the funds to necessarily do so. And they told me that I should just come there and fill out the forms and file the motion there.
Okay, this case goes back to a February 3, 2016 filing by Nation Star Mortgage LLC against Bobby Johnson and Deborah L. Johnson. And it was also against the heirs at law of Bobby Johnson and Deborah L. Johnson, deceased. the petition was for an interpleader. Well, actually, initially it was for foreclosure, I understand, but ultimately they interpled these funds, which means they deposited them into the registry of the court. Actually, sorry, I paused. I decided to go to the report of the attorney ad litem that was appointed by this court to find the unknown heirs of Bobby Johnson and Deborah Johnson.
Seen online where they reached out to
Well, let me let me go through this.
an uncle of mine. I believe his name.
You broke up really bad there, and we were talking over each other.
Okay.
Let me.
Sorry. What about now?
That's much better. You're Raymondrick Bailey.
Yes, sir.
What is your relationship to Bobby Johnson and Deborah L. Johnson?
Bobby Johnson is my stepfather, and Deborah Johnson is my mother.
Who is Christy Thomas?
I
Christi Thomas.
I believe that was Bobby's sister.
Is she still living?
I don't know. I haven't talked to them since the passing of Bobby.
All right. Who is Cynthia Brackens? CYNTHIA Brackens, BRACKENS.
I believe that may be a cousin of his.
Who is Shirley Howard?
That was a sister of his.
Who is Clyde Miller?
That was a brother of his.
Who is Glenn, GLEN Johnson?
Brother of Bobby's as well.
And who are Michael and Larry Brackens?
I believe they are brothers of his as well. I've met Larry, never met Michael, never met Glenn. The only people that I've met are Christy and Shirley and Clyde.
All right. You have stated to the court that you are the son of Deborah L. Johnson, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
how on earth, and this is a rhetorical question, I'm not asking you to, how on earth did the attorney ad litem not find a child but found all the brothers and sisters?
That was confusing to me and my wife as well. When we seen this information online, that was the puzzling part to us, is that they contacted or tried to contact everybody but the right person. There is a matter also, Judge, of an insurance policy that I've been having problems with. That's at the comptroller's division, and
Okay.
they're giving me a run around with that as well.
Does Deborah L. Johnson have any other children besides you?
Yes,
Who would that be?
Stephen Bailey.
So that is your brother.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, if I'm looking over here, it's because this is where the computer that has all the documents on the case up on it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, back to the recitation of where we stand on this.
Okay.
'Cause I'm just putting this in for the record. On September 19, 2017, after the foreclosure of the property, Nation Star filed a motion to deposit the excess funds into the registry of the court, what is called an interpleader, in essence, stating that they, after the guardian or after the attorney ad litem finished her search, they were not able to determine who the parties legally entitled to receipt of these funds were, in light of the fact that both borrowers, Bobby Johnson and Deborah L. Johnson, are deceased. Okay, Mr. Johnson, or Mr. Bailey,
Yes, sir.
I can't proceed today. I know that much. At least as far as releasing the funds to you today. There are, it seems to me, at least two lines of potential recipients of these funds. You and Stephen, and at least you say Michael and Larry strike that. You say Michael and Larry Brackens are children of Bobby Johnson?
No,
No. All
no,
right.
he doesn't have any children.
Are you relatively certain of that?
Yes, they've been married since '97, and no, he doesn't have any children.
All right. So the only two children you're aware of are yourself and Stephen Bailey. Correct?
Certain.
You broke up there.
Okay, what about now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, yes, just me and my brother, no other children.
All right. Where does Stephen Bailey reside?
Mesquite, Texas.
You know his address.
I could get it.
Did you advise him of today's proceeding?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to consider whether or not, and I'm going to do this not here. I'm going to consider whether or not I need to appoint another what's called ad litem to advise the court as to all the living heirs. Unfortunately, when I do that, the fees of the ad litem are going to come out of the funds that are held in the registry of the court.
Okay.
You have made an application with this court, so the court has your contact information on file. And for the record, I'm going to advise that you listed a physical address of 1250 Highway 287 bypass, Waxahachie 75165. Oh, and that was apartment 228. Is that your correct address?
Yes, sir.
You also provided an email address. You also provided a phone number. Are those actual or active good emails and phone numbers?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you happen to have a pen and paper handy?
I could get one.
I would like you to ask your brother Stephen to file with a notice of appearance. And it doesn't have to have any great form. I need something from Stephen saying, I'm a living child of Deborah L. Johnson.
Deborah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also believe that I'm entitled to some of the funds. And he doesn't have to, and give us his contact information.
Okay.
Can you have him do that within the next week or so?
Okay.
And then I'm going to figure out if I need to appoint somebody to go beyond the two of you to determine all the heirs. before I do anything else. I meant to ask this up front. I'm trusting there was no estate taken out on behalf
sir.
of either Bobby E. Johnson or Deborah L. Johnson?
No, sir, there was not.
Okay. Get Stephen to file that, and I'll figure out what to do on the court's end, and then we'll have some other sort of hearing, and try to figure out how to get these funds distributed sooner rather than later.
Okay, and when he files that, does he file it with the 95th court as
Yes,
well?
with
or-
this same cause number. And you just broke up, or you froze,
The
actually.
paper's just saying, now.
The same number, DC 161336, with the
Okay.
95th District Court, just like
Okay.
you filed this.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
You are most welcome. You're excused for today. We'll come back together sometime and figure out how we go from there.
Okay, do you know about how long it'll be, Judge?
I got to decide if I'm going to appoint an attorney ad litem, and I don't want to even do that until Stephen has filed something saying that
That he's in error.
that he's in error. Yes, exactly.
Okay,
All right.
yes,
So
sir.
tell him to hurry up and do that, and then I'll figure out if I need to get an attorney ad litem or if I can find a way to shortcut it, because otherwise it's going to take a little while.
Okay, all right, I'll
All
do
right.
just that. I'll call him now. Thank you, Judge.
Very good. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I feel like we're on the phone. Bye-bye, rather than your excuse.